Hey guys, I'm feeling a bit better today. It's still a little sluggish, but a lot better. I have Arya here, on her towel. Well, her and her sister's towel. Um, Arya is getting ready for her bath. Um, this was requested, well, her ear looks really weird. This was requested by somebody on my Instagram. In the description, I will be sure to put her name. In case you guys want to follow her. But yeah, so we'll be giving Arya a bath first, and maybe if it goes quickly, I'll also do batics. But I gave Kyle one last night. So these are all the things you're gonna need for the bath. Q-tips. You probably need 2. You shouldn't need any more than 2. A comb if your baby has hair, which Arya only has a little bit. So a nasal aspirator, baby wash, lotion, baby powder, and a brush, and a tiny little container or tub with some warm, just like a lukewarm water. You don't want too hot because it is bad. If it's too hot, there we go. So yeah, so we're gonna get started. Okay guys, so hope you guys can see okay. So here's Arya. I have my little tub of water here. Okay, so first you're going to take one of your Q-tips and dip just one end into your water, just so it's wet. And then you're going to take your reborn, and you're going to want to do every single little, like, crease. So let me just set her up closer to you guys so you guys can see. So you get in her eyes, and that's just plain water, nothing on it. So, you know, on her nose, anywhere that would get dust. Especially their ears and their fingers, I find get the most dust. And with the dry end, if you want, you don't really have to, but you can also dry it as you go. I like to do this mainly just with her nose, just because I can't get in there with a towel. So yeah, so then you can keep dipping it. You get her creases in her hands, between her fingers, the creases in her arms here, and you just do all that. Okay, so now that you're done that, your Q-tip, it shouldn't be too dirty, but mine kind of has some dust on it. But anyway, yeah. So if you wipe them down often enough, it shouldn't be too dirty. If it is, don't worry. If paint starts to rub off, stop, because that's not normal, because no paint has ever come off Arya. I think came off Arya. I think like her first bath after she was like made, that her previous owner gave her, a tad bit of paint had come off, she said. But that is to be expected with a brand new reborn. But other than that, paint should not be rubbing off when you are wiping her down. So you should contact your artist or your eBay seller or whoever you got your baby from, and ask them about that. So moving on now, we have a bucket of warm water right here. So it has nothing in it again, just plain water. So you're going to want to just wet your cloth and squeeze it till it's, you know, like just damp, but not like dripping water or anything. Now, you never want to get their body wet. That is why we give them sponge baths, I guess you can call them. So you're just going to want to wipe down all their limbs. So her legs, and then her arms, and her hands. Oh, what is that? Piece of dog hair. Delightful. And then her face. And don't worry about her, if they have lots of hair, don't worry about their hair till after. Hair is usually the last thing I do. She does not have a lot of hair, but I will show you what you do if the baby has a ton of hair. She only has this little tiny patch here, as you can see, and some of it has fallen out over time. which I think I might even reroot a little more, but if it falls out, I mean, you can barely even tell that there was ever any hair there. So, yeah, so you just want to wipe them with the wet cloth. When you're done that, just take your towel and never rub because it's bad for their vinyl, but just pat. So pat dry your whole, all their vinyl. And yes, a lot of the water gets sucked up by the vinyl. That's why you should not be worried by that. It's okay. Or sometimes it just dries really quickly if your house is warm or there's a breeze or whatever. But yeah. Again, do not put their cloth body in water. It is bad for them and their polyfill and all that fun stuff. So there we go. And wiping them down and taking the dust off is good for to preserve their paint. I only do this depends. If I've taken the babies out a lot, I'll do it once or maybe twice a week. But if I haven't taken her out, then it really just depends on when I feel like it, or maybe just once every 2 weeks or whatever. So now you're going to take your baby soap. It's recommended that you use baby soap just because it's very gentle and soft. I don't think it really matters what name brand, but I just have little Johnson's head to toe body wash for babies. So I take this and you squeeze out your cloth. And you're just gonna put a tiny bit, not too much, not too little. Then you're gonna want to put your cloth back in the water and just kind of rub where the soap is till it gets kind of, sudsy and bubbly. Then you're gonna want to squeeze it. And you can probably hear the soap in it. So find your little corner or whatever that has soap on it, and you're gonna want to wipe the baby's limbs down once more. Of course, you can go slower. It doesn't really matter how fast or slow you go. Just for the sake of the video, I might be going a little. There's her. She's got little suds on her. Might be going a little faster than normal, but okay. So you make sure it gets sudsy, because sudsy's good. It's not gonna ruin the reborn. Don't worry. Get her nice and soapy. Oh, it's a lot of soap. Okay. It's in her ear. Okay, so let me just move her way up. There we go. That's better. Once she is, or he is, all soapified, you're going to want to get your little bucket or whatever. Usually I'll get a different cloth, but I don't feel like getting up, so rinse it out as best as you can. I mean, you'll see the soapiness come out in the water. And if you have more than one reborn, do rinse out the water. So wash one, or wipe down one, and then rinse out the water, and then do the next. Don't keep the same water. It's not. And a different washcloth is also probably recommended. This video is gonna be long. Okay, so when there's no more suds or anything in it, you're gonna wipe her down again. Or him, as I said. You might have to rinse out your cloth halfway through, depending on how soapy the baby got. I'm going to use the soap. And I know it doesn't look very gentle, but this nasal aspirator is good for getting any unwanted soap out of her ears. Or you can use a Q-tip. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so once you're done that, you're pretty much done with her body. So again, pat dry your baby, and we'll get back. Sorry. Okay, so once again, we're back, and so if you have a reborn with lots of hair, which Arya only has a little bit, but Kaya does have a lot, you have to be extremely gentle. So you take your head to toe or shampoo or whatever, and you put like the smallest of drops on their hair. If they have a lot of hair, then I guess you could put a bit more, but it's enough to get soapy. You dip your fingers and you just, in, I guess, what do you call it, circles? You just rub. So obviously if she had more hair, I'd rub everywhere, but this is painted on, so. Okay, then once it's all soapy and sudsy, you would take your cloth when it's wet, and you just gently, to get any water anywhere but on her hair, you just rinse it out. If you have to, you may have to rinse out your container. If, like for Kaya, I have to rinse out the container and then do it one last time to make sure I get all the soap out, just because she has so much hair. And yeah, you will get water places, so if you are going to get in trouble for doing it in your room, because water does get everywhere, then don't do it in your bedroom, do it in the bathroom. So yeah, once you're done, never rub your baby's hair. I know, like, you can take your towel and just rub in like small gentle circles to kind of dry it off, but when you brush it out, it usually just dries on its own pretty quickly. So yeah, so there you have your beautifully clean reborn. Okay, so take your brush or your comb if your baby has hair, as I've said 1,000 times. Just brush that little bit out. She only has a teensy tiny little bit. You brush that out. Okay, next, not everybody has to do this, but this is what I like to do. I take the Johnson's baby lotion. I also have an organic one. It's just, which is like the Live Clean brand. It's all up to like preference and sense and stuff. But I just put a little bit and you rub it. But you're going to want to rub it in as if you're putting it on your own skin. If you're allergic to creams and stuff like that, then don't do this part. Just skip it. Okay, then take your hands. They're still a little creamy, but not like extremely greasy or anything. Like, can't see any residue really. And you just like kind of squeeze them or pat them with your hands nice and gently. There you go. Okay, and then that's done. And it just basically gives them the smell. So next is baby powder. If your baby is like Arya is very shiny, then you'll need this. Maddox, not so much, although I do sometimes use it. Or if your baby is like Kaya, where she's part silicone vinyl, she's very like flexible, whereas Arya is, but Kaya more so. Like Arya feels more plastic, a little harder, her vinyl, whereas Kaya's is very soft. So she does get shiny very quickly. Oh my goodness, this is just pure cornstarch baby powder, which you can find anywhere. I just couldn't find a tiny little thing of it, so I had to get a giant one, so I just poured it in a container. But that's all it is. It'll say right on the front, 100% pure cornstarch baby powder. It's just a lot better, has no dyes or anything in it for the baby. Then I just have a nice little brush, and it's pretty explanatory. You just kind of get a tiny bit, the smallest amounts of powder, because it does turn out to be a lot more than it looks, as you can see. And you just want to brush it on very gently. A clean paintbrush that has never been used, like a little painting brush if your baby's small or whatever, or they do even make paintbrushes that have pretty soft bristles that are pretty decent size, or like this is just a makeup brush. They also work too, because I used to use a little actually for between their fingers and stuff, if I ever have to, I have another brush, a little, actually made for painting, but I haven't used it for painting. I just use it for them, so. And don't use the makeup brush if it is not cleaned. I mean, it's best if you've never used it for makeup, but I mean, if you have, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you wash it really well underwater. Soap and water usually does the job. Makeup remover, if you have any, you know, wash it through and then rinse it out. All that fun stuff. So yeah, you just powder her out. There you go. There you go, baby. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So she's all powdered. Okay, the last part before you change your diaper and get her dressed, or him, whatever, is always, sorry, I have to close this. Close your baby powder. Baby powder makes such a mess. Is the nasal aspirator. If you don't have one, I mean, they have them at like the dollar store and stuff for like $1, so I'm pretty sure you can get one, but they just look like this. I use this because sometimes I get powder when I'm powdering in her ears or in her creases that I don't want, and you do not want powder to sit in too many creases. Yeah? Okay. Because it's bad, sorry, my mom, because it's very bad for their vinyl. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so this is the end of the video. Here you have it, your nice, clean little baby girl, or boy, whatever. I think in your case you have girls. But, their hair will be pretty fluffy and soft looking after you wash them. This is what she's wearing. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And Aria says, bye-bye!